Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. So good to see you back today. Ready to have another great day. Hope you enjoying this beautiful weather we're having. Today we're going to go ahead and get started, and let's see if we remember what month we're in. Can everybody say April? Very good. It's April the 21st. Now remember, we put that 21st sound at the end, but it's in the 20 family. All the numbers in the 20 family start with a 2, so it's a 2 and a 1. We would say this if we were counting 2021, but since we're using on the calendar, we will say April the 21st. All right, and then of course, listen to more 20s. Our year is either 2020 or 2020. People say it both ways, so let's say that together. April the 21st, 2020. All right, great job. And today is going to make the plain t sound. What is today, boys and girls? All right, you should be saying Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Just make the t sound. If today's Tuesday, what was yesterday? Yesterday was Monday, and if today's Tuesday, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Good job. All right, well, yesterday we looked at one of our verses that we'd had before, and it's found in the book of Psalm. Remember that P is silent. This book of the Bible in the Old Testament, the P does not make a sound. Psalm, say that with me, Psalm 34:13. I bet you remember this verse. It talks about an important part of our body. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. Remember that song we sang and we held on to our tongue? That was so fun. But what a great reminder, boys and girls, to keep our tongue from evil. That means from saying things that are unkind or disrespectful or ugly to somebody. We want to also remember not to lie. We want to have words that encourage one another and build each other up come out of our mouth. So let's think about that as we're going through our day, as we're working at home with mom and dad, playing with brother and sister. Let's remember that. All right, well, today, boys and girls, I brought another great story. Another story with Franklin. I really love Franklin, boys and girls, and I know you do too. And he's got a soccer ball. We know he likes to play soccer. And today's story is called Franklin's New Friend. You probably notice Franklin and friend both have that FR sound at the beginning. Fra. But Franklin has a new friend. Have you ever had a new friend? I think we all have. Remember, when we started kindergarten, some of us hadn't met each other, so we all became new friends. And we want to be a good friend to other people, and we want friends to be good friends to us too. And that's what we're going to see about with Franklin today. All right, so listen up as we enjoy this story called Franklin's New Friend. Franklin had always lived in the same house, in the same town. He had grown up with his friends, and each one had a special place in Franklin's life. When Franklin wanted to play hide and seek, he called Fox. If Franklin needed a best friend, he called Bear. Franklin never thought about making friends until a new family moved in down the lane. Franklin was curious about the newcomers. He rubbed his eyes as the movers unloaded the furniture. The beds were made for giants, and the lamps were as tall as trees. When Franklin finally saw the family, he was speechless. What do you think it's going to be? Who do you think the new friends are going to be? Do you know? Let's see what animal it is. Do you guys know what those are? Franklin had never met a moose before. He had heard about moose. He had seen pictures of moose, but he had never really actually known one. They were huge. Even the smallest moose was big. Franklin was so scared that he raced home. A moose family moved in. "That's nice," said Franklin's mother. "Maybe you'll make a new friend." Franklin shook his head. "I don't think so." "I expect you to be nice when you meet someone new," warned his mother. Franklin scowled. Can you scowl, boys and girls? Make that mean, sad face. The next morning, there was a moose in Franklin's classroom. "Please give a warm welcome to your new classmate," said Mr. Owl. "Hello, Moose," said the class in unison. Moose mumbled hello and looked at his feet. "He doesn't look very friendly," whispered Beaver. Mr. Owl told the class that Moose had come from a different place, far, far away. "Franklin," said Mr. Owl, "I'd like you to be a buddy for Moose." Franklin tried to smile, but he was scared. Moose was so big. Moose didn't say a word all morning. At recess, Franklin ran outside with his friends, leaving Moose behind. But Mr. Owl reminded Franklin that he was Moose's buddy. "Do you want to play?" asked Franklin. Moose shook his head back and forth. Franklin was relieved. During recess, Moose stood alone as Franklin and his friends played soccer. Fox kicked the ball too hard and it flew into a tree. "Now we'll have to go get Mr. Owl," groaned a bear. "I've got it," said Moose, and he knocked the ball out of the tree and went flying to Franklin. "That was good," said Fox. "I guess," shrugged Franklin. Back in the classroom, Mr. Owl asked Franklin and Moose to make a poster for the bake sale. "I don't need any help," said Franklin. Mr. Owl talked to Franklin alone. "Try to imagine how Moose feels. He's new and he has no friends here. He's probably scared." "Moose can't be scared," said Franklin. "He's so big." Mr. Owl looked at Franklin. "Big or little, we all get scared." Franklin thought about that. Franklin got the paints and paper. "Do you want to help me, Moose?" "Oh, yes," said Moose. "I love to draw." And they sat side by side and planned the poster together. Franklin realized that Moose didn't seem so big when he was sitting. After much work, the poster was perfect. They both thought so. At library time, Franklin taught Moose how to borrow the books. And Moose showed Franklin how to cut a perfect circle. They both liked to build structures. Franklin and Moose had a lot in common. At lunch, Franklin made sure that Bear and his other friends got to know his new buddy. They liked Moose. Besides, he was a very good soccer player. When Franklin got home from school, he was happy. "Guess what?" he told his mother. "I have a new friend." "So you met Moose?" asked his mother. "What's he like?" "Moose is big," said Franklin, "but he's not mean or scary." "Good," said his mother. "Would you like to take some of these cookies to him?" Franklin went to Moose's house. They ate all the cookies together. "I'm glad you were my buddy," said Moose. "I was worried about nobody would play with me." "Really?" said Franklin. He could barely remember being afraid of Moose. From then on, Franklin and Moose played together all the time. Now Franklin's new friend was a special friend. What a great story, boys and girls. How awesome is that they became good friends. Sometimes we see and meet people and they might be a little different. We've never met them before, but we get to know them and realize what a nice friend they can be. We want to always make sure to include everybody, ask people to join in the game. Remember, we talk about that, how we want to make sure that nobody's left out, and that's what Franklin did. He made sure Moose wasn't left out. Sometimes we're a little scared about something new, someplace we've never been. But boy, we want to be the kind of friend that asks others to join in and play with us, don't we? All right, good story, boys and girls. Franklin's new friend. All right, we're going to go ahead and look at our handwriting. Remember, on Friday, Mom and Dad picked up that new packet, but we also had quite a few extra handwriting. So this was a handwriting 145, 146. It's pretty short. And again, this was an extra one in that other packet, and if you've already done it, boys and girls, don't worry about it. Just make sure as you're working through your handwriting, you're using your pencil. When there's a house, your first and last name, and that you're doing your handwriting papers, reading words, periods, question marks, exclamation points, practicing those writing sentences, finger space. So even if you're on a different handwriting sheet, let's make sure we're doing our best work. I can't wait always to see how well you're doing. We see our friend here playing some baseball. See that baseball game? Give me a thumbs up if you like baseball. Yeah, we love baseball, don't we? Missing our Cardinals right now. We have two letters that we've learned this year. There's that P, pumpkin, 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 and then, and I'm fixing my lowercase q, as we've talked about doing the Q. Remember, usually we see Q with U and it says qua, qua, qua. Quack, quack, quarter, quilt, all make the QU sound. All right, so we know what to do, tracing and writing. And then our sentence, there's our capital H, hit, it, qua. There is that Q. We want to turn it into a lowercase. And remember how we always put that tail the other way. Qua. QU says qua. Ick. Quick. Eat. Magic E turns that long E. So we would read it. Hit it quick. Pete. Exclamation point. All right. So great practicing. We've got a little special mark there that we just trace over. And we got that lowercase q, QU. Okay, don't forget that exclamation point. Practice reading, practice writing sentences, and special marks at the end. On the back, we see a little boy. Uh-oh, look at that little mess, boys and girls. We have the letter R, capital and lowercase, rabbit, 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 Remember we had that dog and the little puppy had that rag in his mouth and we were going And then it's a question mark. Let's read our sentence. Did Ron do it? Question. Do you think Ron did that? This is Ron. What a mess. All right, so pretty easy there. Not too long on our handwriting. Let's make sure we're working on that. All right, great job. All right, make sure you finish that. When we come back, we are going to work on our phonics. We're going to read in our reader, and it would be awesome if Mom or Dad have a spatula. Could you ask Mom and Dad if you could borrow a spatula? Be sure and check with Mommy first before you do, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with those addition problems that we colored and cut out yesterday. All right?